Liberal media claims Flynn is going to destroy Trump, but they got caught in two big lies by Robert Rich Cops and Criminals Politics for MadWorldNews.com. The left has been having a field day since news broke of Michael Flynn's intentions to plead guilty to charges that stemmed from the investigation into Russian collusion. Unfortunately for those praising the reports that he is going to point fingers at President Donald Trump and take him down, they may want to hold off on their celebrations because there are at least two important details that the liberal media got dead wrong and everyone needs to know. Seeking to do anything that they could to delegitimize Trump's presidency, the liberal media has been beating the Russian collusion drum to death for well over a year after Donald Trump won the 2016 presidential election. Now, as Robert Mueller's special investigation team has announced charges against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, the liberal media has already begun to celebrate, but things aren't as they seem. Before long, reports were circulating saying that Flynn feels he has been abandoned by President Trump and was ready to point fingers. Specifically, a media article states that Flynn was set to testify. Trump directed him to contact Russia and alluded that this would take Trump down. Too bad for the liberals who are already celebrating. They may want to hold off on the confetti and champagne, as there's just one thing the entire country needs to know. It's all fake news. Yet again, we're seeing fake news at its finest as the left desperately grabs at whatever straws they can in order to attack Trump. Although they think that they have the high ground, they certainly don't. Flynn isn't in trouble for talking to the Russians because what he did was not criminal. However, it's the fact that he lied about it that's resulted in official charges and soon enough a guilty plea. Furthermore, the leftist hack Brian Ross over at ABC claims that the network was told by a Flynn confidant that the former National Security Advisor will testify against Trump. Of course, we've seen enough times by now that these so-called confidants or anonymous sources are just a cover for the networks to spread unsubstantiated and flagrantly false reports, or fake news, if you will. As if that wasn't enough, it seems that the liberal media was completely wrong in their reporting, as Trump isn't directly involved in the slightest. According to the Daily Caller, additional reporting by Fox News indicates that Flynn was directed to contact Russians by a senior member of the transition team, not by Trump when he was a candidate, as ABC News initially reported. Just like that, the world was turned upside down on its head because of the fake news. Social media ignited, the stock markets tanked, and the world was good for the left. But they're wrong. However, yet again, they've fallen for the propagated nothing more than fake news. The same thing that got them into trouble and essentially lost them the election in the first place. Of course, the punishment for the neglect and willful ignorance is just coming out as Trump's attorney, Ty Cobb, just bashed liberal morons everywhere over the head. Setting the record straight, he released a scathing statement. The full statements involved mirror the false statements to White House officials, which resulted in his resignation in February of this year. Trump's attorney, Ty Cobb, said, speaking of the Flynn developments, nothing about the guilty plea or the charge implicates anyone other than Mr. Flynn. Cobb added in his prepared statement, the conclusion of this phase of the special counsel's work demonstrates again that the special counsel is moving with all deliberate speed and clears the way for a prompt and reasonable conclusion. Cobb continued, according to CNBC. The left is really digging a hole for themselves. Still, they don't realize that their own dishonesty turned the American people against them. Rather than acknowledge what they did wrong, they instead have chosen to deny and continue in the same fashion, twisting facts in an attempt to suit their narrative. Yet again, they have jumped the gun and chosen to spread fake news because they thought they could benefit from it rather than do their research and reasonably put out the truth. The liberal media is fake news, and at this point, they've lost all credibility, so it's up to us to spread the truth. So true. But I had read from the Gateway Pundit that Michael Flynn, you know, was like he was pushed or something into it. And that turns out to be false here. So, whatever. Let's wait and see what happens. But they did state that it has nothing to do with Trump. There you have it. So I don't know what Mueller's digging for, and and I feel bad for Michael Flynn because he just lied, let's say, to the FBI. I mean, really? Give me a break, and you're going to put him in jail for 5 years, and here Hillary's walking scot-free for doing like an insurmountable of damage to this country, and she's walking free, and Michael Flynn will be facing 5 years just for lying to the FBI. I mean, maybe he got flustered or something. He got scared. Like, get away from me. Like this is just trash altogether. That's what I think it is. It's just trash. And this Mueller character, who's as corrupt as can be, is still walking around. I mean, it is mind-boggling at this point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.